Okay, I'm back with my brand new favorite brush. It's Airsats by Global Arts. It's a watercolor brush, and you can get these from me or any other HA or any other supply, Tradition supplier. And I'm using it throughout this painting as my wash brush. It calls for an oval wash, half-inch oval wash. This is a 3/4, but it is oval. It's a filbert, but it's oval. So that's what I'm using. I like it because it's really soft. So next I'm going to do the shore, and I'm going to do this part of the shore first. I'm going to move from the bottom to the top. I'm going to do this again in a soft wash. I'm going to moisten it with water. And I need to leave the lid off of this extender. And also a little extender because I really like to work with extender. Okay. So we use a fully loaded brush. Make sure that it's a thin, watery wash. Okay. And then I'm just going to start here. And I've got too much in my brush, so I'm going to blot it. Just press it on a paper towel. And start here. Come up. See, here's where I have trouble with washes. See, I don't see this really leaving anything on the surface, but it actually is, but I don't see it, so then I tend to overdo it because it dries and it dries darker, and then I can see it. So I don't know if you guys have trouble with washes, but I do. So this lesson has been a real big challenge for me, just because it's washes. And I think I had a combination of too much moisture in my brush and too much moisture on the surface. But I'm going to kind of tickle it around some more. And you know, it's there. It's there. It's just not enough for me to think it's there. So just add a little bit of interest, maybe a little bit of puddling here and there. I don't think it'll hurt it because it's kind of rough ground anyway. Okay, and then next we're going to do our water. So again, I need to moisten it, and I think this time I'm just going to do extender only. So I'm going to start down here, then I'm going to go ahead and put it on the entire surface of the water. I like to use my fingers for this if you haven't figured that out. I don't know, I just feel like I can control the amount of it and the direction of it better using my fingers. I get too much on there when I use a brush. And then you want to take it beyond the area you're going to be working on. Okay, so I'm going to fully load my brush again. Make sure it's really, really watery, or really thin, put it that way, really thin. Let's see, my glaze has dried. Let's see if I can get some of that back on here. I like to keep just a little puddle of glaze on there so that I can dip into it when I need the transparency and the glue. Okay. Like there's a fine line between too wet and not wet enough, and I have trouble finding it. Okay, so we're going to start here. Just wash it in and go right over those ducks, because in a minute before it dries we're going to wipe them back out again. And we're going to go just about to this second boat on this side of the front boat. We're not going that far on this side. Okay, then we're going to come up here and go down, and I'm going to wash right over those boats. Smooth it out a little. But I'm leaving this part up here pretty clear. So now I'm going to take a toothpick and I'm going to pull it back off of the places I don't want it. I'm going to wipe out those ducks. That will make them stand out more. Get another one. I have some stray stuff up here. Let's see. I'm going to kind of wipe it back out of here a little bit because kind of got some of it up in here. Just a little. But we're mostly leaving this clear. Now later on we're going to go back and put some more color on this water. So if it's not dark enough for you now, you can make it darker later. I'm going to wipe some of this back out again. And just kind of leave some of that clear in there. As long as you get to this before it dries, then you can wipe it back out with no problem, and you won't disturb anything underneath your last coat of glaze. Okay. Then we're going to do this bottom shore. Now some of this is different level ground. It's elevated. I think this video is going to be too long. I'm going to have to separate it into two, but I will. Okay, so again, we're going to start here at the bottom and just kind of come in and wash over. You know, add a little movement around these places here where you see the elevations. I'm going to kind of add a little bit of a side load to my brush and maybe kind of put a little interest right in these little spots here, just to let you know that there's a little difference in the ground level right there. Okay, this is all pretty loose. And then we're going to flush in the foliage over here. You've got to make sure that it gets behind this house and this tower. And again, we'll just wipe this out, the places that it shouldn't be. But it's easier to get it back in there where it needs to be if you don't try to fit it in there. Just brush it on and then wipe it back out in the places that it shouldn't be. Okay, and then we're going to put some here, and I'm just dabbing. Now, see, I feel like I've got my mountains too dark, having trouble seeing my foliage. So what I'm going to do a little later on in the painting is I'm going to wash a light blue mix over this to set these mountains back into that background some more. But I'm going to have to get all of this first to dry. Alright, we'll be back.